Scary Movie. There was a scene where Shawn Wayne was playing like a football player that was kind of fruity, and he made her wear shoulder pads.
You putting this?
I don't have
October,
fetishes
right?
or kinks, right? So I'm not weird like that.
No,
I
you
think my
putting
friends
10,
are weird because they
16,
like
22.
like all this other. I don't.
You did that the other day. I
just
was
like sex.
downloading
Man,
it.
I ain't gonna lie,
to
dog.
SoundCloud. It was just like
These women in these shoulder pads.
I was confused as hell.
Lie to your pastor. Don't lie to me. But seeing her tackle that thing, boy, all I'm saying is I was up for watching this.
No, that's fine.
And I don't know who set it up, if it was Cardi's people, if it was the Chargers, but I will say this, it was very smart. A lot of people watched it. You got Meg showing that she still has strong knees. God bless. I could watch Cardi tackle that dummy all day. Matter of fact, tackle me. My favorite saying to tall women is dunk on me. I just tell Cardi to just tackle me, baby.
I mean, we were second in recruiting last year. A&M was first. A&M bought every player on their team. Made a deal for
whatever you
like. All right, we didn't buy one player. All right, but I don't know if we're going to be able to sustain that in the future because more and more people are doing it.
That's where you see the genius of Nick Saban. He's in a room talking to influential Alabama people. One of the things that he says is, I don't know if we're going to be able to maintain this level if it stays the same. It's basically he's using the Republican strategy. Like, we're good. We got so much talent here, but I don't know if we're going to be able to continue to do this if these Mexicans keep crossing the border. I don't know if we're going to be. I beat shit out of Jimbo more times than I'm not, but I'm not sure if I'm going to keep being able to beat shit out of Jimbo if we don't do something. Saban is Geppetto. In my era growing up, Lil' Kim on Quiet Storm had the dopest verse with two goons in the microphone with Havoc and damn, I can't even think of the dude's name. And Prodigy, Havoc and Prodigy. Hot damn hoe, here we go again. Like, when she come in that business, she just boom. It's the real shit. It's to make you feel shit. Bump them in the club shit. Make you knock them out when you bump this drum to your eardrum, the wrong cut. Have a person OD because it's never enough. Like, I'm like, whoo, shit. I could vibe to that. I could go work out to that. I could go do a lot of shit. Mia O'Brien posted Travis Etienne's workout. Now, he's training in Dallas. He had a Liz Frank injury, which is an injury to like the top of the foot. And what it's done in the past is literally taking the explosiveness away from you. You're watching this video right now with me. It don't look largest in the United States, greatest of all time, tobacco, cigar, online boutique shop, whatever. I think I said all the good things that it is, but bottom line is, if you want cigars for the low, go holler at them. You type in sports, then at checkout, you get 20% off. Christmas season is coming up. We're going to do 12 days of Stickmas. We didn't do it last year, but let me tell you what's available, dog. Oh, and I'm getting it. So I'm like, again, this gets me excited because I'm a cigar guy, right? I love cigars. Let me find out with my guy, Carlos. So because of the circles that I run in, I get to know people. The Oliva family is a big time cigar group company, and they made, they obviously make Oliva cigars. Duh, no shit. No shit. But their kids went to Florida State. Like, what happens is, being a transplant into a Hispanic family, what happens is people get off the boat, they come here, and then the kids don't speak Spanish, but the other people do, and then they send their kids, they work their ass off to make sure that the kids don't have to do all the Spanish shit. And then what happens is they go to college. So they went to Florida State. They went to Florida State with my guy, Carlos. I asked Carlos back in June. I said, yo, Los, there's this thing in Spanish cultures called the Advent calendar. It's like Christmas every day, but like, I've been doing this with bullshit. like Avengers socks and shit, even though I like Avengers. But imagine this with fucking cigars. You know what? I tell you what. My man Carlos told me, James, I got you a Leave an Advent calendar box. It should be in next week. So Thanksgiving just got lit for me. I'm not 1,000% sure because I don't know if I like you guys this much. But I may be willing to come up off of the Advent calendar if we can get over 2,000 subscribers on YouTube and we do our stuff. Like, this shit is legit. I don't know if you can find it, Miles, or anything like that, but if you Oliva Advent calendar, it's basically for like, I think it's 15 days out from Christmas or something like that. But you like basically you go to the date and you open it up, and then there's a cigar for each day. And that's like, I don't even know how much that shit's worth. But it's a pretty big deal. And you know, I don't know, man. Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. How much does it say? Is that $200? Yeah, $200 thing. You know, I'm willing. You know, yeah, I'm willing to do that if we get over to a certain thing. But anyways, so that's I just felt like the need to spread my joy. Even though I've had a rough day, I got a flat tire. Even though I just literally changed I just got new tires, and one of my new tires is already flat. But it's not on thehumidor.com, so don't pay attention to the website. I'm just showing you what it looks like here on our show. But anyways, if you type it, go to thehumidor.com, go buy the cigars for the person that you love the most. What better way to bring in a Christmas than smoking? And I think that's just a really good thing. That's what I do. That's what I encourage others to do. Listen, we all got to die of something. Yeah, you might as well go out the way that you want to go out. Have you see vegans all the time? They what's that? What's Chris talking about? Okay, bet. This is the best way to get a hold of me. One thing people can't say is you can't get a hold of me. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you know where the fuck I'm at. And if I'm not answering your text, comment. Also, people in the comments, people listening, I need help. Miles is doing this thing. We're gonna probably try to grow this thing in 2023. I need somebody to be able to show me how I can keep my goddamn YouTube comments. Y'all be lit on YouTube, and I love it, man. I love the YouTube live comments. The problem is they all disappear after the show is done, and that really bothers me. I think it messes up the algorithm, but whatever. I love the Facebook. The Facebook comments stay. If you're trying to comment on Twitter, I'm not going to be able to get a hold of you. But anyways, we're inside the world's greatest cigar lounge. Oh, my bad. Going back to that, go ahead and show the tailgate. We're having a massive smash up. I'm calling it the 3-6 roll-up tailgate. I want 300 people or more at this tailgate. We're doing it big. It's gonna be like, people been asking for this, and if I would have told you about a month ago, what people would have said or suggested that if these two people ever met, furniture was going to be moving, especially if it was at the top of lot 19. He may or may not have been threatened to, if he ever came to lot 19, he may get thrown off the top of it. But right now he's cool. He doesn't have to worry about getting thrown off the top of lot 19. You only have to worry about getting thrown off the top of lot 19 if you bring war. Because we don't mind bringing war. We love peace, though. We are peaceful people. But we're going to have the tailgate. Big Cheese is going to do some stuff. I'm going to talk to my guy Shannon Snell, see if we can bring some stuff. Thanksgiving-themed barbecue. Hell, we may even bring the Duval, bring crab trays out that piece. Not 1,000% sure, but it's going to be great. I can tell you that much. Like a Friendsgiving thing. It's $50. All you can eat, all you can drink. It is kid friendly. If you have a kid, hit me up on the side. Well, it's $25 for the kids for them to eat, just as long as you make sure they don't get into the moonshine. We'll have a cannabis company that's out there, so it'll be friendly for that. But we're gonna try to have a vendor row. So like, if you want to, you're like, man, Florida State, I can't believe they did a game on Black Friday. How am I gonna go shop for my people? Got you covered. I want 10 businesses. If you got a business, hit me up on the side. We're going to make sure you get an opportunity to be able to market in front of 300 people that are willing to spend some money for Christmas shopping, if it's could be themed. Florida business, FSU business, doesn't matter. Just come on out, check us out. We plan to have a really, really good time. I bring that up because thehumidor.com is going to be sponsoring cigars, so we'll have cigars there for that event. We'll also have a good amount of alcohol. If you could drink me dry, you probably have a problem. And I'm hoping Game Day Vodka will be helping us out with some stuff, but we'll talk about those things. Me and Chris will talk about those things offline.
Tez needs to bring his shirts, man.
Listen, man, Ted's got to holler at people. Ted's just go. Ted, like, this is one thing that I'm talking about with comedians. And if you don't know who Tez is a guy who I absolutely adore. I think he's a phenomenal comedian. I wore his GOAT apparel. I think this would be a great place for him to sell stuff and set up shop. But I can't really just be out here, looking behind people. But like, no better way to get put on than to make sure you have one of the largest FSU media guys behind you in one of the biggest things. So again, shout out to Big 3 Roll Up. Go check them out. They're promoting this tailgate as well. Shout out to everything that we gotta go do. And Game Day Vodka. Okay, I got to promote. We'll have a superfluous amount of vodka. So I got to get Scott over here at the greatest, where I present this show from, the greatest cigar lounge in America, Goodfellas Cigar Lounge. It's like Cheers. It's like is it Cheers? Yeah, Cheers. With a mob twist. Like, everybody knows your name. You don't need security because we are security. Because if you bring that bullshit, you'll be found in the retention pond in the back. But we have good vibes, live music, tons of different things going on. We're about to bring First Fridays coming here in the new year. We have ladies' night on Tuesdays. We have all kinds of different things that you can do here. It's not a club, it's a lounge. You can vibe, have a conversation with people, with cheese in the back, doing the food, great things like that. So we got a hell of a Bloody Mary here. And I'm telling you, people, if I get that Bloody Mary mix, it's on and popping, because I don't care what your ailment is. If you drink a Bloody Mary, you'll feel better. I promise you. I call it the big game one is when you get a little tequila in that bad boy.
Whoa.
Instead of vodka. But vodka is, it's cool. But with Game Day Vodka, we'll call it the big game, the bloody big game. Maybe that's what we'll call it. Anyways, special drinks for that. If P-Dub comes, we'll have Henny and vodka. Henny and lemonade, because that's like one of his favorite drinks with Peter Ward. But former players, all kinds of other shit. So, all right, Miles, if you go to the thing I sent you, we're gonna go right into Jaguar content. Sorry, teams worried about the wrong shit. The Jacksonville Jaguars are doing what they do best, consistently being one of the piss poor teams in the NFL. Nobody has figured out the best way to lose better than the Jacksonville Jaguars have done, except for 2017, which was one of the greatest, I would say one of the greatest years of my life, but definitely one of the greatest years in my young media career, because I get confused on the good end and on the bad end. On the good end, I get confused because, like, I feel like I haven't been doing this that long, and I remember things like it was just yesterday. But 2017 was not just yesterday. Like, my son is like damn near a grown man now. 2017, he was 4. So, like, it's a lot of stuff has happened and changed in my life since 2017. But that year was so good that, let me just tell you how it was regimented media was. So we didn't have early signing period then. Or that might have been the first. We didn't have early signing period. So what happened was, we had the Jags went on a run. Oh, my bad. I'll go a bit to Kaepernick had the world wilding. Jags kneeled in London. People was like, we're not fucking with the Jags. Jags went on a run. Everybody was fucking with the Jags. We literally forgot National Signing Day, which was in February. It's been the first Wednesday in February forever. Nobody in sports media realized that, and we were scrambling because people were making plans for the Jags to go to the Super Bowl. And we were a Miles Jack isn't down play away from beating Tom Brady and going to the Super Bowl, to be probably beat by our current Jacksonville Jaguar head coach, Doug Peterson. Isn't that crazy how fast things happen? 2017, Doug Peterson was winning Super Bowls. Now he's in football purgatory, like coaching the Jacksonville Jaguars on one of the shittiest teams in the NFL. But even a broke clock is right twice a day. So the Jaguars do have some guys who are performing at a pretty decent level. So that means we have Pro Bowl list. There's a fan vote, there's a player vote. But if you click on that, show us what we're talking about here, Miles, with the Jags and their Pro Bowl list. You've got Josh Allen, who I agree should not even be considered. You've got because I think Josh Allen is just highly overrated right now. Tyson Campbell, nah, okay. Now Cisco, based on what Cisco was doing last week, man, Cisco be knocking the fuck out of people. Somebody that you don't ever want to be considered on your Pro Bowl list is your punter, Logan Cook. Travis Etienne Jr., he's doing okay. He's on track to make 1,000 yards. He probably will make the Pro Bowl. Christian Kirk on track to have 1,000 yards receiving. In garbage time, however, do I make the Pro Bowl? No losing quarterback should ever be voted on a Pro Bowl list.
Right.
So Trevor Lawrence should not be on that. Black Panther name, nah. Brandon Sheriff, nah. But that's not what the issue is. You have to do your job. Jaguars media has to present this. But every time somebody does things like this, somebody gets left off. Cookie Head Jenkins, as I call him, Rayshawn Jenkins, the other safety, was left off. So the Jaguars put, y'all know the drill, hit the link in our bio to send your favorite Jaguars to the Pro Bowl. Cookie Head Jenkins puts wild. And then somebody, Jake Martin, said, they did you dirty, my boy. And then Cookie Head Jenkins says, like always, nothing new. So now he's feeling sorry about himself. Cookie Head Jenkins, somebody put, they left you off. First in the NFL amongst all safeties and pass deflections. Back to work, though. And what I want to say to this is that I got my once I get this roadcaster, we're gonna have a lot of sound bites. But this one right here, you know, I wanted people to know that this guy is black who's saying this, and he's a big black man, big job. So don't, this is a black show. So you can't really kill us. We'll edit this out eventually because I try not to ever use this word unless it's in the scientific text. But the first thing that rolled off my tongue when this happened was what Big Ja is about to say to him. So Big Ja, tell me what you think about what Cookie Head Jenkins had to say.
You sound like a doofus, Nick. You sound like a doofus, Nick.
And that's what my thoughts were. I'm like, dog, you are on a team that has really won, 3 games, and you're worried about the fucking Pro Bowl. If you go out there and you win games, you won't have to worry about this. You sound like a doofus. Or to quote my dad, who I'm not, because again, me and my mom have this conversation every year because I'll make a face that really, really looks like this person. And I'm not sure if I look like my father anymore. The older I get, I used to think we look the exact same, but I don't know. I haven't seen that man in, I can't even say 17 years anymore. Holy shit. I haven't seen my dad since I graduated from high school. I have my 20-year anniversary. I haven't seen my father in 20 years. But I do know but I have seen Ice Cube a lot. I've watched his movies. I listened to his music. And as Doughboy on Boys in the Hood said, shut up, bitch. Like, that's what you need to do. Shut up and focus on fucking winning games, man. Sorry teams are worried about the exact wrong thing. What I need, and then you have fans right now who are going back and digging up old tweets about people saying Christian Kirk is an overrated, overpaid wide receiver. You are on a team that is losing. Everybody is overrated right now, in my opinion. You always got to put that, in my opinion. It's actually, there's an awesome Key and Peele skit where he talks about this, and then people ridicule people about opinions and shit. Oh, my bad. And I just got suggested by this. Actually, you want to know how you get a job in this industry? My bad. I got to go back. I just got this text. And I'm going to give a shout out to Exemplary Service. Scary service, but exemplary service. So we just bought this. Miles, did you know the person who brought us this iPad mini is a fan, listens to the show?
Oh, I meant to tell you that. Yeah, I spoke to him.
Yeah, buddy hit me up. Now, granted, I don't like when people tell me that kind of stuff, because it's not that I don't like that you're a fan of the show. I just don't like people knowing where I live. When the UPS man hit me up he was like, "Hey, yo, big game. I'm your UPS driver. I deliver your stuff." I'm like, "Yo, shut up. I don't know who's here." They may want to know where I'm at. I talk a lot of shit, and I don't want people coming to my home and having to realize the Green Acre sponsorships. But buddy showed me some work, and I'm gonna work with my man. My man does some stuff, some good stuff with IG and some Facebook stuff. That's how you get into this game. You get into this business, and if you're willing to work, people can put you on. But I'm gonna tell you, you got to be willing to work. And I'm not a proponent of doing, like, if you're good at something, I don't think you should ever do anything for free. That being said, you got good is relative. The market dictates what the terms are. So, like, but I'm going to give him a chance. Like, so if you got somebody and you want to get put on, you want to do some stuff, man, I got a lot of shit that I don't know about. But I can talk a lot of shit. We can put out content all day if you're ready to do it. But bad. I just got a text about that, reminded me about that. But again, Jaguars, we got a lot of shit to talk about the Jaguars. I want to talk a lot more shit about the Jaguars. But when they do stuff like this, it just makes it really, really easy. People talking about Christian Kirk, people telling me every week that Trevor Lawrence is getting better. You're getting better in every aspect except for where it fucking matters, which is in the W and the L column. You have all this talent. I see things like, do you realize, Jacksonville Jaguar fans, not this past week, because this past week was a thorough ass whipping, but the week before that, you were the first team. I believe there was 22 games. There was 0-22 this season for teams that had got down by 17 points. But now it's 1-22. The Raiders, who got thoroughly dismantled by a coach who had never coached a game. He was 3-7 as a high school coach, and that's he was hired by an owner that does blow. And he beat the Raiders. Tyson Campbell in the Jaguars allowed a young man in the what's his name? The DB. It got off. Anyways, my bad. I don't even want to get into that. Just sorry teams be worried about the wrong shit. And that's some doofus stuff. Now, going into a team that isn't sorry, but I'm going to be heavily critical because now I have expectations. Now, my expectations have shifted based upon what they did. Now, if you would, Miles, click on that. But right after that, I said what I said. I want to click on something that I said back in 2019. Now, I've said this about Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell is a very, very good coach. Now, one thing I hate about Twitter is that apparently people bookmark this shit, or people will know about things, or if there's an app, let me know, because I would like to go back and hold myself accountable for things. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. I said what the fuck I said, and I'll say it again, and I'll stand true to this. Y'all, my coach is dead. Now, he was alive then, but it is disrespectful of the fact that I played for the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And when y'all did it for Tag, then you're doing it for Mike Norvell. You're using clips and quotes from Coach Bowden that were out of context. And it bothers me. It bothers me not because I don't think he's a good coach. It bothers me because it's hard to live up to a ghost. You have to you have to let people live. Like, to quote my favorite guy, my favorite rapper, Jay-Z, and there's a Jay-Z quote for everything. He said, Hove is a GOAT, but but it don't come close. How I'm supposed to live when they got me chasing ghosts. They talk about how he's not big or Pac and they're dead. And he's like, I can't chase somebody who can't do anything, because you're gonna always remember the past with rose-colored glasses. So they quote, like, you lose by a lot, then you lose by a little, then you win by a little, then you win by a lot. Big Bobby had one losing season in his entire coaching career at Florida State. It's just not comparable. But that doesn't mean that Mike can't have a great career. Now, this is what I put out, because everybody kept saying, "Oh, what press conference? It reminds me of Bobby Bowden," and I got tired of it. I was sick of this shit before Mike even really got a chance to get there. This is in October. I mean, this is in December of it, before he even coached his first game. I said, so we just throwing the "he reminds me of Bobby" thing around without letting folks earn it. Like, we don't respect our GOATs. Now, more context. Somebody said, my boy Matt, who makes the Jambalaya, they did that with Tag too. And what I said was this: that's what I'm saying. Let's just chill. Let that man be. And then when I go into it, I'm like, let him grow into what he is. If we compare everything he did to Bobby, it's not fair. We're setting ourselves up for failure. Now, what I love about people on this is in the social media age. I just woke up this morning and I got people liking this tweet. So what happens is when you go back and you like a tweet from the past, it puts it back up on the timeline. So more people are liking this. It's kind of like my Kanye West thing on IG. People it's getting into these different things, and now every day I'm like weeks past this, and now people keep dragging me back into this shit. Don't post my shit without context, and I still mean it. Mike Norvell is not fucking Bobby Bowden. Mike Norvell is Mike Norvell, and he's doing a good job doing what Mike Norvell does. That being said, I am not critical. I'm just starting to get a little bit aggravated now because when you go down to the next thing right now, every accolade that we're starting to get with these guys is like, damn, we should have won one of those 3 goddamn games, man. Trey Benson. Oh, my bad. No, Frank, we can go with this one first. We posted this on the last show. We talked about this on the last show. Corey Clark posted what the rankings are. And again, this means that they're good. This means that they're elite. This means that they can be held to a standard that's higher than what we're doing. But at the same time, we can appreciate the fact that they're doing something that we have not done in quite some time. Florida State is now 11th in the country in total defense. That is great. Florida State is now 16th in the country in total offense. There's only 3 other teams, Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State, that are like that. 2 of those teams will more than likely be in the college football playoffs. We are trying to hopefully win our way into a New Year's Six bowl game or into Jacksonville. And if it's in Jacksonville, oof, we're going to have a great time. Or Orlando. Both of them are hop. Miami, we'll have to partner with somebody from Miami. But my point is that when you have now, and then also looking at 13 teams, there were 13 teams that were ranked in the AP top 25 who are currently unranked. North Carolina State being one of them, Wake Forest being one of them. Those are 2 teams that we lost to. Clemson is still in the hunt to possibly go and play themselves into the college football championship if they win out. My point in that is you knocked out NC State's quarterback, and all we needed was, and NC State only scored 1 American football touchdown in that game when we have the elites of the elite. Now, when we go back and we look at our offense, which gets stopped at times, if you go to the next link on that, Miles, our offense that gets stopped and goes silent at times, when you look at what that offense actually has the capability of doing and who they have with them. The running back room is one of the best running back rooms in the nation. Trey Benson, and this is the thing from Carter Carroll's, and it's in the Tallahassee Democrat. It was today's the 16th, right? So I guess it was yesterday was when it was posted. He ranks number 1 in elusive rating, even though I don't think there's anything elusive about Trey Benson except for the fact that that's a large individual and you do not want to hit him. He's number 1 in breakaway percentage. He's number 2 in yards per carry. He's number 2 in run grade. He's number 3 in overall grade. He's tied for 7th in the missed tackles forced, and he doesn't have the guy who's number 1 is the running back for Texas, and Trey Benson doesn't have a fraction of the carries that the running back from Texas has. Trey Benson is that guy. He's doing a phenomenal job. It's like he didn't start getting the carries until Trayshawn Ward got hurt. And I'll be honest with you, I still think Trayshawn Ward is a damn good running back. I think they complement each other. But I do say this, with a weapon like this, you shouldn't be in a situation where you lose to 2 teams that are currently not ranked. You should have been able to score on that. Now, again, there are things that we have that hurt us, but it's still about when you know you have the standard within range, that's something else. Now, going into something else that I don't have the link for, you have a quarterback who is number 2 on the Pro Football Focus. Excuse me, he's number 2 in the ACC to Drake May at North Carolina in terms of being one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. I think he's also number 2 in Power 5. He's on the Davey O'Brien. He's on the Maxwell and the Davey O'Brien semifinalist list, meaning that he's one of the top 20 quarterbacks in the nation. You should not have this and still not be able to. You should not have this and not be able to have the wins that are necessary. So those are things that we can be objectively critical about. But not crying about it, but just like, we let it go away. And every day that they make more lists like this, you've got guys like Fabian Lovett, who unfortunately was hurt, but you see he's got an invite to the Reese's Senior Bowl. You've got guys like Jamie Robinson, who's got an invite to the Reese's Senior Bowl. Actually, not just invites, they've accepted these invites. So that means they're going to they're going to an all-star game. You've got Jared Verse, who, though he missed a few games, is considered possibly a top 10 pick, but guaranteed to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft. You've got a bunch of pieces that just feel like, even though you're like, man, next year should be it. And even though I'm telling you, I felt we were only going to win 8 games, but it still feels like, man, woo, if it all clicks, where can you be at? And, and like I always tell people, the biggest part about me and the headache that I have is that I literally live the same day on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday's a little bit worse. But Friday night, I coach a high school team in Mandarin that's incredibly talented. We have D1 talent all over the field. Not just me saying we have D1 talent, like kids with offers and kids who don't have offers that will eventually get offers. But our average age of our team on varsity is 15. We have that many sophomores. Most of the guys who played this year were getting their first actual snaps on varsity. So we made a lot of silly mistakes. But Florida State's the same thing. So next year we should have it. But when you think about the fact that we put up like over 400 yards of total offense in some of the games that we lost, you're like, damn, we should have lost. But we had spots when our offense went silent, and it should. Hell, the first half of the season, we put up points on people in the first half. We were like one play away from having a running clock, and then all of a sudden we stopped scoring. And it wasn't because the other team adjusted to us. We just stopped doing what the fuck we were coached to do. And that is a very frustrating thing when you are a football coach, a football player, and all of these different things, guys. But it's also very, very fun when you look at all of the things that are available to you for next season. In particular, if you get guys to come back. In particular for recruiting. And this is why I tell people I'm not really as worried about recruiting right now, because I know we'll get a QB. One of the things that I got a chance to talk with me and my guy Denny Thompson talked very, very for a long time yesterday. They were just talking about stuff that if Jordan Travis should leave. It's just for the first time we've had excitement, but with excitement breeds expectations. And when you know you didn't live up to your potential, elite mindseted people do have things like, damn, I should have got it. But what elite mindseted people also do is think, damn, I should have got it, but I'll get it. I'll make sure I get that shit next time. And I'm hoping that for these guys. I love that for these guys. Now, going to a situation that happened Monday as I was coming into the studio. If you go to the first link, not the tailgate one, if you go all the way up to that one, yeah, is it that one? Yeah, that one right there, I think. So, and this is wild because I'm pro 2A. And one of the unfortunate things that happens in our country is that we probably have we if we were being honest, we do have a gun problem in our country. And it's unfortunate, and it's mass shootings are so when you hear shooting, you think black. When you hear mass shooting, you think white. When you hear terrorism, you think brown. And the problem is that no racial group is above doing any of these things. Right. And when we heard about a school shooting at the university, and what we should do in all of these things where people are talking about protect our children, protect our opportunity to have education, protect these different things. we should have situations where we aren't fighting against on the wrong side of history for things like my education to be safe. Like I should not have to fear when I send my son to elementary school if he's going to come back to me, or if I'm going to have to do a DNA swab the beginning of every school year to make sure that if the event that somebody decides they come shoot up my son's school, and I might not have him come home to me. I should be able to go on a college campus, and there's one that's happened at my alma mater. And most college campuses are open, so it is hard to protect it. But I do think as much as we push for gun legislation, and I do think some reforms are necessary, I do think we need to push for mental health and conflict resolution, things that happen. The University of Virginia had a shooting in which a former football player, a walk-on, killed 3 of his teammates or former teammates. To see the grief played out by some of these parents, like one of the dads, and if you've lost somebody close to you, it's one of those things that's tough because the dad posted the last text message that him and his son had. And it was sad. You know, some of these guys, like, and the locker room is a close thing. And these guys had went on a trip. And that's what makes it wild. But the University of Virginia is canceling their football game this weekend. And you know, in honor of the deaths of Deshaun Perry, Divine Chandler, and Lavelle Davis Jr. And one of the guys was asleep. The guy's clearly you know, crazy. The guy's name is Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. And it was clearly targeted. The young man wasn't randomly shooting. This is what the witnesses said. He's been charged with 3 counts of second-degree murder, 5 counts of use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, and 2 counts of malicious wounding in connection with the carnage. He wounded 2 other students. One is still in serious condition. I mean, it's just I mean, I don't at some point I think one of the things I think would be great about politics is when we take money out of it. Because then I think we could get some really legit things going down. This is not a situation where a good guy with a gun would have made things better. This isn't a situation where there are rules already. It's hard to get guns in that area. It's also like you're not supposed to have guns on college campuses in general. So, I mean, it's what I believe personally is with football players in general. Football players in general, athletes in general, but overall, our young people need conflict resolution skills. They need counseling. They need these things more than they need some of the things that we're actually going out and trying to politicize or say they need. We don't need a don't say gay bill. And it doesn't start when they're in high school. It starts when they're in elementary school. I'm dealing with it with my own son. He's growing. He's 9. Every day we're talking about, yo, why did you make that side? Why did you do that? What's going on in your mind? Like, why did what I just said to you go eat some vegetables? Why did that make you so upset? Talk to me, communicate to me so we can work this out. At the end of the day, you're going to do what I tell you to do, but I want you to understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Why is violent? But then I look at social media and I ask myself, am I preparing my son for a world in the wrong manner? And what do I mean by that? Because I grew up in a world where it was really violence was your first and then negotiation. So like I've seen a Navy SEAL talk about the violence scale. It goes from 1 to 10, and it's depending upon where you go. And then what he learned is that he had to flip it, and instead of going from 1, he goes 10 in every situation, and then adjust accordingly. But because of how social media is, people talk so vehemently. You should, like, even with this tweet, the tweet that Virginia canceled their game, right? I want you to understand the callousness that was in the comments. Now, granted, the crazy thing about this is I understand that social media is not real. Not everybody else. So one person puts, so they're just going to take away our senior night for all the players who put in the time and effort for that program.
Ew.
It's a tragedy, but maybe let them use emotions to get out and win a game for their fallen teammate. That wasn't even one guy put, and this is what I always have to tell myself. So I go and click on things. And so this is how I know this is a troll account. Got 12 followers. But this is what somebody put. Not everybody takes the time to do that. You just read sometimes. How does that help anyone? Is what somebody said. And you got to teach guys how to go about things and find what their triggers are and these things. You start at a young age and you work it up. I don't really care who's splitting somebody in two, who's splitting somebody else in two. I don't care about you, because the truth be told, if we're really being honest, declaring your sexuality is really about who you want to have. Is a sexual thing. Because if you don't care, why do you? If you're not trying to promote that, why do you even care? So that's one thing. If you're really concerned about, like, I see my governor Ron DeSantis saying that white kids should not go to school and feel bad for being white. Okay, fine, whatever. That's not what happens. They're just teaching them history. But instead of, trying to erase history, why not teach kids how to process things properly? Process because in an information age where we're being inundated with things, why not teach people how to accept stuff, process it, and then bring it back out and bring it back out?
Right.
Have you ever noticed that we're eliminating bullying? And bullying, it seems to be in trying to eliminate bullying, it's gotten worse, and people's responses to bullying have gotten worse. I'm not naive to believe that. I know how walk-ons get treated. I know how the walk-ons on the football team get treated like the weird kid in class. Doesn't make it right. I'm just saying that this guy probably, and I don't know if those were the guys that bullied him. But what I do know is whatever was going on in this guy's life, it did not help him. And then what happens is we'll see tragedies like this. We'll see people post things like and I have a friend who's a former military veteran who's having his funeral this weekend who committed suicide last week. Unfortunately, on his wife's birthday. But we see things like a veteran commit suicide like every day or something like that. Some crazy statistic. And what we'll do is we'll do push-ups. We'll send out tweets. We'll send out RIPs. We'll send out all of this shit, but we won't do a goddamn thing. And that's unfortunate. But what's wild is it's not even my 8 o'clock. I can't see. What does that say? We're on the time?
45.
All right, cool. So my 8 o'clock is this. And because the problem is I don't even know how you police the situation, because the police need situations They need conflict resolution skills and things like that. And my hate o'clock, and I'm not even going to go delve into it too much, but the Milwaukee Police Department, and I'm just finding this out. I don't know if this is an old news clip. I don't care if it was a new one. But even when I read the thread, here's the problem with our thought again, how we get information and how we process it as humans, if you go all the way down to hate o'clock, is the Milwaukee Police Department has molested 74 black men.
Oh, shit.
No other race or ethnicity of men have come forward.
God.
But when you listen to what these young men are saying, it is troubling, to say the least. But it's routine traffic stops. And what happens is we've made this stigma. People say this is why just comply doesn't always work. Because they just complied. And they got their booty tampered with. Play it. I mean, it's funny. As funny as it is, that's what happened. I don't want my booty tampered with by complying with you. I want the same amount of respect that you'll give somebody else. But push play. Let's listen to their stories.
Oh, God.
Police officers are under internal investigation, accused of performing illegal strip searches, including cavity searches on the streets. Were they wearing any gloves? No, I didn't see not one. There was no gloves. Kevin Freeman claimed in December he and some friends were violated during a traffic stop. When they searched me, they put they like eased down and they put their hands right between my butt. Then I try to reach back and so I try to reach back and try to stop them. They just got to slam me.
My gosh.
But what's crazy is in this, my guy just goes with this thread. I guess this is what he does. Baton Rouge Police Department molested 2 black boys during a traffic stop. One boy was 16 years old. They were handcuffed. They got it on body camera. Memphis police molested a black male. He said the officer used his badge specifically for illegal sexual gratification. NYPD Assistant Chief Christopher McCormick was so obsessed with young black and Latino men's genitals that he actively molested them after he was promoted to a position that required no street duty. They say he pulled down their pants in public, exposing their genitals. Some said he used his fingers to search for drugs around and inside their anal cavities. He told people to get on all fours while they were naked. He pulled them down on the sidewalks. Cold hand. It's just... It's place after place after place after place where it's uncalled for anybody. I don't care if you're black, white, anything. But what happens is people say, "Oh, that's just a few bad apples." But what happens is when you don't get rid of the bad apples, it spoils the entire bunch. That's the whole thought process. And what happens is if you don't want to, like, if you know this, so we encourage citizens to tell people, hey man, when you are going through something and you see something bad, you've got to report it. But we don't tell police officers to do the same thing. We don't give the same energy. When people talk about I'm going into a war zone, I'm going to a rough area, you don't know how tough it is. This makes it tougher. If I knew somebody wanted to come in and take my manhood and violate me, I would want to kill you. I would literally not trust you. And if I didn't, and what's wild is they're going to do an internal investigation. They're going to investigate themselves. And I think that's kind of where we are at. The trust is not unwarranted. It's warranted. It's warranted. And I have a ton of police officers that I actually love. And I think that are great men, great women. My son's grandmother was a former police officer. You just gotta, but this is just not okay. reform. And the crazy thing is when you try to make some kind of law about reforming this, people are going to tell you you're anti-police. I'm anti, but again, it goes back to what I'm saying. You're worried about the Don't Get Say Gay bill or teachers teaching homosexuality while you got police officers forcing homosexuality on citizens in the name of justice.
That's the trauma, the monsters you might have created.
Right. You're worried about a teacher, and I can tell you exactly probably what happened, that comes in after a weekend and says they went kayaking with their husband. And kids don't know, why do you have a husband, Mr. Johnson? Well, me and my husband, I'm married to a man. And then he tells them that. But he tells them that we lived a normal life. You're worried that's what's going to cause a kid to go gay, and not the fact that somebody's going to abuse the true abuse of power that actually runs rampant, that you'll defend by saying, oh, they have a tough job. And I just want to put this in perspective. First line, landscapers, number 10. They average 20 deaths per 100,000 full-time workers, 142 fatalities in total. Construction workers, 144 fatalities in total. Iron workers, 809 fatal ones, 15 total injuries, 15 total deaths. Farmers, 257. Truck drivers and drivers, 966. Almost 80,000 non-fatal ones. Garbage truck people, 37, but 1,500 non-fatal, but they're pretty tough. Roofers, airline pilots, fishers, loggers, nurses. Yes, nurses. These are all jobs that have more deaths than police officers. It's not saying your job isn't violent. It's not saying your job isn't tough. It's not saying your job isn't hard. It is nowhere near one of the most violent jobs that's out there. But it becomes more violent when you abuse your privileges and you abuse your opportunities and you don't treat you. My problem with all of this is that I have loved ones who serve in the U.S. military. They go over into a truly active war zone where you don't know who's trying to kill you, and they kill the wrong person. They get brought up on court-martial. They go to the brig. There's real consequences for non-U.S. citizens. But U.S. citizens don't get afforded that exact same right. Just food for thought. And that's my hate o'clock, which I want to say is brought by Green Acre Sporting Goods. It's tough, but I'm going, no. We're going to Hate O'Clock, brought to you by Green Acre Sporting Goods. Green Acre Sporting Goods is the go-to outdoor shop, because I'm not going to back that with that bullshit. But Black Friday deals, come on out here. 9mm. One, if you go in there and say Big Game sent you or the Den Media Group sent you, they're going to hook you up with some shit. Two, they got the Taurus. That's $100 off. They got two types of AR-15s. That's $100. That's $100 off what it's normally sold for. They got bullets. They got all kinds of other different shit that you could possibly go get. And then you talk with my man say he's gonna take a deuce on purpose. That was funny. Like I wish you could. I don't even know how that works. Can you? Anyway, I don't want to get into that. It's not my job. But keeping it sports related but wild. But if this were my hate o'clock is this, we don't. I guess that's kind of themes into it. We don't protect black boys in general. Everybody talks about grooming. Like, so when it's when it is Aretha Franklin dating a young dude, it's great. It's not on there, but if you can go Google Larsa Pippen. We just love to bring up protect our girls anytime a creepy and I agree, but we don't protect black boys at all. South Park had one of the greatest episodes when Kyle's little brother was dating his kindergarten teacher. They went to the police, and the police all said, nice. But when we hear the reverse on that, we come there. And I can tell you as a guy, I can't say maybe when I lost my virginity, maybe I lost it too early. But I can tell you, I've known that I like women for quite some time. I think I'm pretty sure my boys like women for quite some time. I can say that maybe the older woman maybe used her, like my daughter's mother maybe used some of her skills to get me, as she was is it 7 years older than me. But I'm not gonna sit here and say that I didn't like it. That was yucky. I don't think she molested me. Legally, she did, but I don't think, I think I'm pretty cool. I was pretty cool with it. I say that to say that we say that with boys. And we all know girls who wouldn't date high school boys. They dated. We all know the girl that dated. It's just now with social media prevalent. I think just a lot of you guys didn't get a chance to live, so you always point out things. But Larsa Pippen, this is grooming right here. I'm sorry, there's no way to get around this shit. Larsa Pippen is a disgusting individual, but I'm pretty sure Michael Jordan's son is okay. Larsa Pippen is allegedly dating Michael Jordan's son in a clear case of grooming. She grew up with these boys. Her husband, her ex-husband, literally is the greatest sidekick known to Robin. Without Scottie Pippen, we don't know Michael Jordan to the effect that we know him now. He won no championships without him, and he won none after him. But this woman is dating this guy after clearly she likes young men. Because and I don't know what Scottie did to her. I really don't care. She's only 48. I thought she was a little older, but she's dating Mike's son, Marcus. And I wonder how old is Marcus Jordan? Larsa Pippen is 48, by the way. Let's see how old is Marcus Jordan. Looking for it now. It's not that bad. He's 31.
Okay.
It just seems worse.
All right.
But she was there for his formative years. And I want you to know, and ladies, this is why I warn y'all about, again, I will always try to not be Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, Patrice O'Neal, or Corey Holcomb. But I'm here to inform you as your brethren. Y'all are not helping. So when you wear this, we love your liberation stuff, right? But you're also going around boys who are going through puberty. So I have some friends who have sons who are playing sports. If you run around here, you got ass, right? And go to a Pop Warner football game. And I'm not telling you how to dress, guys. Dress how you want to, but just understand it is little boys around there who you are literally going through puberty with. And I'm starting to believe that more of you are like Larsa Pippen than you want to admit. Your titties out, they looking at it. And what happens is when you are the downside of being a fine mom is that them boys going to talk about your kid in the locker room. And when you got an OnlyFans account, you know what they talking about? The truth. The locker room is, and I'm sure girls talk about the same thing. But this is grooming. But there are no think pieces. The Root hasn't written an article about this. You know what happens? That's right, girl. Go get your own. Men do it. But nobody goes, and when men do it, say like, okay, well, it's cool as long as we get to do it. See, that's what I always say. I don't really give a fuck as long as we get to do it. It doesn't mean I want to do it, because I don't really think that there's very much somebody with that much of an age gap can provide for me. But one thing we know, and this is why when people say it's a whore, it's why they say that. Larsa Pippen, the guy, had a song written about her by Future. I just fucked your bitch. It's some Gucci flip flops. Go look it up. There's actually the IG where Metro Boomin is actually talking about after the situation happened. He's like, Future, I come in the studio, I got to record. He's like, then he laid down the greatest track ever. And I'm just like, it's funny, but like, and what's wild is in all of this is that Scottie would probably still take Larsa back. Because the biggest disrespect isn't so much that she's moved on. People got to move on. The biggest disrespect is this. Scottie Pippen has a real issue with Michael Jordan. it being considered the Robin. She didn't even go try to get MJ. She got MJ's son. I'm telling you, man, that is some disrespectful shit.
For real.
And women, I don't really know where y'all are coming from or why y'all like. I'm not saying people are saying this is great, but like again, if this were a man, it'd be all over sports news. It'd be all kinds of bullshit written. And I'm just telling you, man, like, listen, I don't even know why she's. I mean, that vagina's got to be that vintage vagina got to be immaculate. I don't get it, but I will say this: I like keeping things the main thing. So, in all of that, I did have the clip of what I wanted, but in all of that, oh no. If you want to be this is not alpha male too on Marcus Jordan's part. You're getting sloppy seconds, son. You are that guy, and you should move and handle yourself accordingly. And if you don't feel like you are that guy, tomorrow we actually are having a live event here. This Botox event where you can learn about alpha male clinic and all the different things. 3545 St. John's Bluff Road. Come check us out. Learn how you can end 2022 in the best possible shape ever and go into 2023 kicking ass and taking names, so that you won't have to go and profess that you're an alpha. People will see it in your everyday life. Now, this is how I know this is 100 years of living. I've made this joke. I don't think I'm going to live that long, not to that age. But if I make it to 90, I'm going to fuck up the entire inheritance. I'm having another kid. Just telling you straight up, I'm putting another James Coleman out. I mean, not James. I might even call him James Coleman. But I put another kid out there. But if I don't do that, and I'm about to face death, I hope my sons and everybody loves me enough to help me celebrate my milestone birthday like this. I think if you've lived to see a millennial, you deserve to do whatever you want to do. No matter what comes out on that other side. Like I told you guys about that country music singer. If there aren't orgies in heaven, just send me down the hill. Texas' father celebrates his 100th birthday at a strip club. Actually, you know what? And I didn't even realize this. Thanks to his daughter. They do say the daughter loves you more than the sons. But the man enjoyed strippers. Nothing better than a pair of tits and some big ass in your face. Gaucho Poma, I hope that's how you say it, celebrated 100 trips around the sun. And to mark the special occasion, his daughter Dina took her dad to Dallas Gentleman Club, the Lodge. Jack's daughter says his father loves two... Man after my own heart. I got to send Scott this. Jack's daughter says her father loves two things in life: women and boobs. So a strip joint made perfect sense for his 100th birthday. This man's got pictures with 4 women loving his life. Dina says her father hadn't been to a strip club since he was young, which is far too long. And when he showed up to the lodge Halloween night, he was like a kid in a candy store. The dancers were awestruck that she took him to the club. Dad only gets one life. Enjoy it while you have it. The dancers adored him. One fed him pepper pasta, brought him out some birthday cake. It sounds like a great party, great time. His wife died 12 years ago. He's been with another woman, but like that woman died as well. This man, as long as it's working and you got that impulse and that urge, God bless. That's living the alpha male. And then I will say this, the most alpha of all alpha males right now, and this is what's proven. Tom Brady is a winner in life. Tom Brady looks sad this year. You could tell Tom Brady was going through some things. They took the tweet down?
How is that possible? I'll check it again.
Yeah, because I just pulled it up. Oh, okay. All right. Tom Brady was living his best life. Then he decided to get married to a woman who's doing her thing. Highly coveted woman. Tom Brady wasn't having the best season. I've seen friends go through the ringer when they get a divorce. It's a very psychologically taxing and traumatizing time because there's nothing known. But ever since Tom Brady made it known, they have come with their settlement. The Buccaneers are 2-0. And that's all we know Tom Brady. We do not know Tom Brady with Giselle. We know Tom Brady is Tom Brady. And Tom Brady is 2-0 ever since that. I'm sure Buccaneers fans are excited because now this man has all the focus. Again, you got to know who you're. There's nothing wrong with marriage. Marriage is a bad contract unless it's with somebody good that understands you. Too many times people try to force it into these constraints that we've been taught that it's supposed to be. When your relationship is supposed to be what your relationship is. And 90% of the time, it's not the man that wants to even initiate the marriage. It's because the woman says it's time and then she dictates the terms. It's not a two-way street. And then that's when you have your star quarterback playing like bullshit. But now you got rid of that. Like, people act like you can be a good father and not be there. Just like she can be a great mother. And the funniest thing is people say he promised her that he wouldn't work. Well, what did she do the minute that they separated? She's actually working right now. Doing her model thing, and she's good at it. And then you know what else happened? She's with the guy that she told him not to worry about. The goddamn yoga instructor. My bad, jiu-jitsu. Even worse. Because jiu-jitsu is grappling, right?
Yeah.
So you already know he been thinking about that and he been grappling and rubbing that all well before that. To quote a popular minister that was born in Oakland that lives in the Atlanta area, I want to make sure I get his real, by the name of Todd Anthony Shaw. We all know him by his pastoral name, Too Short. These hoes ain't shit. Like, it's just like, well, the Pete Davidson thing, I'll give Kanye his props. See, Tom could have went the Kanye route. But he's stronger than that. He's an alpha. Kanye is a beta that happened to make it. And he went crazy. And I don't even think Kim K had Pete in tow until, because I've heard the story. She didn't even know Pete Davidson really existed until she went to do Saturday Night Live after they were divorced. And Pete, who now has a new ex-divorcee, I think, like, that man's just running through the gamut. Actually, matter of fact, you need to check your woman to see if she's been with Pete and his baby leg, because he's out here fishing with the damn pole. But he ignored her, which is the oldest trick in the book. And Kanye went crazy. Tom said, she wasn't a virgin when I met her. She ain't gonna be a virgin after I leave her. She's one of the baddest women on the planet, but I am the baddest man on the planet. And that's how he moved accordingly. So, men, it's time. You got to take care of your mentals. You got to take care of your physicals. And you got to take care of your health. In 2022, we're going to finish the year doing that strong. 2023, we're kicking ass and taking names, just like Florida State. And maybe the Jags. Maybe next year will be the year. Who knows? But on that note, appreciate you guys chopping it up with me. We'll be here Friday around the same time. Talk about the weekend's games coming up. Holiday, trying to get a holiday edition. Want to know what some of your favorite dishes are, man? Let's post that. Let's talk about this. I talked to my guy RJ. He told he's again, bullying does work. RJ no longer discusses things like well-made chicken or barbecue, or goes to wing joints and gets the barbecue chicken wings. He actually is eating hot wings like a grown-ass man, and I'm happy for that. So I talked to him yesterday. But on that note, see you guys later. Appreciate you.